So I have been writing some since I've been out, and I have this reading that I want to share with you from Jim Palmer. So here's how I want to start. I no longer think the most important question about a religion, philosophy, spiritual path, or worldview is whether it can explain everything. I want to know what kind of human being it helps us become. Does it deepen our humanity or require us to distrust it? Does it enlarge our capacity for love, or does it narrow the circle of people worthy of it? Does it help us face reality or provide increasingly elaborate ways of escaping it? Does it cultivate curiosity, humility, courage, compassion, and self-trust? Or does it make those things dangerous whenever they threaten the system? Those questions matter more to me now than the answers I once defended from a stage. He was a conservative pastor. I spent years believing that spiritual maturity meant becoming increasingly certain about God. These days, I think it may have much more to do with becoming increasingly capable of being human. So this really spoke to me, and it's, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there, but here's where I started. Is just this. First of all, I appreciate when people ask questions. I mean, I think I've shared with you before from here that I am more uncertain about God and spirituality and life and what happens after death. And I'm more uncertain about that than I've ever been in my life. I'm more uncertain about that. And I'm not afraid to admit that. And I've said to you before, if you come here for answers, maybe you came to the wrong place. Because this is not a place for answers. This is a place for questions. This is a place for questions. Like, who really knows what God is? I mean, who really knows that for sure? Who really knows what happens? Who really knows why we're here? Who really knows what happens after we die? I mean, who really knows that for sure? I mean, I have my ideas about that. You have your ideas about that, but I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. If you do, well, I say good for you, but I don't know those things for sure. And here's one idea in here that I think is worth exploring, which is what I did this past week, is whatever spiritual path you're on, and I've told you before that my idea of spiritual path is whatever is in front of you. That is your spiritual path. You know what it was 2 weeks ago for me? COVID. COVID was my spiritual path. That's what I woke up to. I woke up to a fever. I woke up to feeling crappy. That was my spiritual path. That's what was in front of me. And so what he's saying here is, does your spiritual path, does your belief about God, do your ideas about faith or whatever you think it is, the unseen, does it deepen your humanity? Does it deepen your humanity? That's the big question. Does it deepen your humanity? Because here's the thing too, we talk about, I used to spout this one off, maybe you do, maybe you still do. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Well, I'm a human being too. I'm here. Like, I might be a spiritual being, but I am human. I am human. You are human. We are human beings. It's not the secondary part of us. We are here. We incarnate. We are human beings, not a spiritual being we are human beings as well. Both, divine and human. One is not secondary to the other. What if, I wrote down here, what if the answer to every why question, why and how, is this? Why am I here? Why did COVID happen to me? Why is this happening? Why did I do this? Why did she do that? What if all of it is here so that it helps us deepen our humanity? What about if it's not about the evolution of consciousness? I used to believe that. We're all here to evolve consciousness. What about if we're here to evolve humanity? Isn't that enough work? I mean, look around. Isn't that enough work? What about if we dedicated ourselves to evolving humanity? Humanity. Well, what is humanity? That's always where I start, because it's easy to say. Deepen humanity. What does that even mean? What is humanity? Well, humanity is the whole of us, the whole human race, right? The whole human race. But humanity is also defined as the qualities that make us human. The qualities that make us human. What are those qualities that make us human? Our ability to love, our ability for compassion and kindness and creativity. That's what humanity is. Our humanity is our ability to do that. And it's the whole of us. So what does it mean to deepen our humanity, to deepen our love, to deepen our compassion, to deepen our kindness toward each other, to see ourselves as one? How do you do that? To deepen our humanity. What if that's why we're here? What if you don't need any other answer to any other question about anything other than that? I am here to deepen our humanity. Wouldn't the world be different if we could do that? If more of us could do that? To deepen our connection. So the question is my spiritual life, is the life in front of me leading me to deepen my humanity, to deepen my love, to deepen my compassion, to deepen my kindness, and to realize that there's only us. That's it. There's only us. There's only us. So here's a few questions to think about. Does it deepen your compassion, or does it narrow the circle of those who are deserving of your compassion? Does your life do that? Are you led to listen and to be present in moments? Or are you to judge, or do you judge with your opinions and your rhetoric? Do you stand stiff, or do you stand flexible? Does the way you walk in the world reinforce and create otherness? And us and them? So prevalent in our country right now? Does the way you walk in the world create this idea of otherness, or does it create connection and unity? Do you draw the lines around us and them? And us is always the good people, no matter who us is. Usins are always the good people, and they are always the bad people. Do we draw that? Do we do that? Which one is deepening our humanity? Is your worldview of life, what's in it for me? How can I save me? Or is your worldview of life, how does it impact the whole? How does it help the whole? How does it save the whole? Or is it just me, me, and me? Do you create these invisible boundaries with your judgment and fear? Or do you allow these discomforts to be what draws you together and closer when you realize there's only us? There's only one humanity. There's not a couple different humanities. There's just one. There's just one humanity. Listen, someone has to start. Think, why does it have to be me? They're the ones, they're this, and they're... Somebody has to start. Why not me? Why not you? Why not us? Why aren't we the ones to do this? Why aren't we the ones? You know, we've tilted so far to otherness and blame. We've tilted so far. We can tilt back. We tilted humanity this far. We did, not they. We tilted humanity this far. We can tilt humanity back. Someone has to start. Why not us? Why not us tilting humanity back? We can do that because we are humanity. We are it. It's not them. They're not going to do anything. They are us. We are that. We are them. This is it. There is only one. And to deepen kindness and caring and compassion is to reach, for that to reach every living being. Every living being. Every living being. Every. Not the ones I like, not the ones who believe what I believe, not the ones that I can go out to dinner with, not the ones who showed up with a casserole, a peach cobbler at my door when we had COVID, Christine Lyons. I mean, a peach cobbler this big. I said, what are you doing? We're going to get fat. She said, better you than me. Now I lost my train of thought. There's only, to every living being, to reach this for every living being, to realize there's only one. I mean, this is urgent stuff. This is urgent stuff. What I've decided is that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It's urgent. Like, isn't it crying out for this? Isn't humanity crying out for kindness and caring? I say yes, yes, yes. Yes. It can't wait. We can't wait. We can't wait. It's not the evolution of consciousness, it's the evolution of humanity, and we can do that. We are that. That's the power we have because we're it. We're it. So, if there's no time to waste, and why not me, like, what do you do with that? Just Joe emails me every once in a while and says, yeah, but what do we do about it? Why don't you tell us what we're supposed to do about it? And I'm thinking, if I tell you what to do, you're not going to listen anyway. Because in his last email, he said, we all have to decide. And I'm like, yes, we all have to decide. We all have to decide. It is up to us. But I have a few ideas that I'll share. Every word, every decision, every action that I make must be in service to the whole. There's the test right there. Every action, every word, every thought, that has to be in service to the whole. Not to the exclusion of me, because I'm part of that. Not that I have to give and give and give until I'm, gived out. But to be consciously aware of every word, of every action, of every decision, to be considered with relation to the whole. So how does that work? Well, let me talk first about money. Like, where do you spend your money? Where do you invest your money? How do you use your money to support whatever you support? Is it in a way that supports the whole? Is it in a way that supports the kindness and caring and compassion that is humanity? You control that. You control where you spend your money, how you invest it, where you invest it. You control that. Where does it go? Money is like water. It is growing wherever you place it. That's what's happening. And we have total control over where we put our money. We say, well, you don't have to do anything with your money. You decide where to put it. And by deciding where to put it, you decide what you're supporting. Who benefits? Who benefits from your money, where you place it? Who's the bottom line? Where does it flow to? I was just having a conversation with David Malik. He was here cleaning before the service, and I said, yeah, Renee and I don't use Amazon anymore. We don't use Prime. We've decided that we don't want our money to go there. Somebody says, well, I like getting the packages. Well, then realize what you are supporting, and does it support humanity in the way you want to support humanity? It's your decision. We said no. So when I ordered books on Monday, I still don't have them. But I don't care. They're coming. Those poetry books will get here from Angie Sullins. I think she's in Texas, wherever she is. She's sending them directly from her. She wrote the poetry. I ordered them from her. That's what I want to do. That's where I want to know how my who am I supporting? Who am I supporting and how am I supporting them? That's what I want to know. What do you want to grow with your money? You decide. How about your consumption? Here's a good one. What do you consume? How about let's just start with your food. Where do you buy your food? Where do you get your food? How about retail? How many more things do you really need? Where are you purchasing them from? Where are they made? Is that where you want your money to go? Is that what you want to support by your consumption? How many streaming devices and streaming channels do you need? Is that where you want that to go? Is that what you want to support? The apps, the TikToks, the YouTube, the Substacks, all of it. Consciously deciding, is this what I want to support? Is this what I want to support with my consumption? I mean, how much stuff do you send to the dump? How full is your trash can? How many boxes do you pat yourself on the back to recycle when the stuff that comes in them you didn't need to begin with? But I recycle. You know, how about reduce is the first word in that line. Reduce, reuse, and then recycle is the third item. Reduce. What am I supporting with that? How about this? Do you consume to numb yourself out? What are you consuming? Liquor? Drugs? Are you consuming the scrolling thing? Is this your consumption? Is this your consumption? Is that how you contribute to humanity? To deepen our humanity? Have you become so used to violence that it doesn't even bother you anymore? You see it on the show you watch. You see it, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, it's just TV. It's just AI. Is it? Is it causing us to deepen our humanity, or is it pulling us apart? What about your time? You know, the time you have left is less today than it was yesterday. And every second you're alive, it's less and less. The clock is ticking. The gift is time. Where are you spending it? How are you spending it? How are you contributing to the deepening of humanity with where and how you spend your time? Well, it's all up to you. I mean, it's a gift. It's a gift. How are you spending? Are you spending it in service to the whole? And it doesn't mean the only way to serve the whole is to volunteer. I mean, I tell Renee all the time, because she has this disconnect sometimes. I'm like, you are serving humanity in your job. You are writing these specifications for these architects that have no idea how to do it. They're designing these buildings, and you are making it happen right here. And those buildings are occupied. They're hospitals, they're universities, they're schools. They're all these places. I said, you are doing your work to deepen your connection to humanity. You're providing this. Yes. It's not separate. It's not like, well, I have to volunteer over here to deepen my humanity. No, in what you do and how you do it and how you relate to the architects she relates to them and how she supports them and how she, I would say, loves them in that way. Wants to make the thing that goes out the door the best darn thing that ever went out the door. Right? In our daily life, which is our spiritual life, which is it. How do you spend your time? Intentional. I think one of the words that we should abolish, besides, what was the other word I told you to abolish?
Struggle.
Struggle. Thank you. Somebody listen. Struggle. Abolish the word struggle. Abolish the word busy. Stop being busy if you don't want to be busy. Be intentional. Be intentional. How about that? Instead of being busy, be intentional. I'm sorry, I'm not available for this. This is what I want to do. Be intentional. Busy? Busy is a badge that we've created that's just false. It's not a badge at all. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. What about this? Do you scan the surface of things, or do you dive a little deeper? Do you scan the surface of things, or because to deepen humanity, you can't stay on the surface. You can't stay on the surface. It's like reading the headlines. Too many of us read the headlines. We think we know the whole story. Did you see that headline? But yeah. Do you scan that? I mean, how much do you think you know? How much do you know? How much do you really know about anything? Yeah, isn't that a good question? It's like, how much do you really know? I thought I used to know a lot. You know, back when in my Unity days, I was taking Unity classes. I was in classes all the time. I was writing. I was going out to Unity Village. I studied becoming a licensed Unity teacher. I took hours and hours. I probably took 300 hours worth of classes. I thought I was evolved. I was just, so spiritually evolved. What a joke. It's what I thought at the time, though. But what do we really know? What do you really know for sure? What do you really know? You know what? You can't walk a mile in another person's shoes. You can't do it. It's not possible. Can somebody walk a mile in yours? No, they cannot. They cannot. So what does it call me to do? Is to look upon every human being with the eyes of God, because we have no idea. And we don't know a whole lot. We can deepen our humanity, though, because we know that our humanity is about kindness and caring and compassion. What about if that's all we knew? That'd be pretty awesome. That'd be pretty awesome. And you know what? If you don't understand something, or you can't give assistance to somebody, if you're the one that's bruised and battered, at the very least, why don't we practice this? Do no harm. Do no harm. With your action or your inaction, do no harm. Evaluate that for yourself. If I want to deepen my connection to everybody, do no harm. It's not exclusive to medical doctors. Like, do no harm. Our glares at people, our side glances, horrible. Horrible. Well, I didn't say anything, I bit my tongue. This kind of look at someone, the poison darts that we throw, the fists, the judgment, the disgust that we have for another human being, too many ways, physically, emotionally, mentally. Ask yourself, is this harmful to the whole? Is this causing harm to the whole? This is a question for yourself, not for somebody else to evaluate. Let me tell you, Jocelyn, no, it's about me for me. Is this causing harm to the whole? That's the question. And someone has to start. Why not us? Why not us? Why not me? Why not now? Deepen our humanity. Tip that scale so that we all fall into the realization that there's only us. There's only one humanity. That's it. That's it. This is it. One humanity. Deepen it. Deepen that humanity. There's a quote that I read from Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger is served as 12 years as the U.S. representative for Illinois. He was voted out after he voted to impeach President Trump in his last term. And so he was ostracized from the Republican Party. And he said this: "You do not build a majority by telling half of the country that they're the enemy. You build it by making room, by telling people that there's room for you." And I substitute these words for this message today. You do not deepen our sense of humanity by telling half the country that they're the enemy, or half the people in your life that they're the enemy. You build it by making room. You build it by telling people there's room for you here. Because we're all one. Because we're all one. That's what it's about. There's a perfect poem that I want to lead into meditation with today that speaks to this. And it's from Hafiz, and it goes like this: "It happens all the time in heaven, and someday it will begin to happen again on earth. That men and women who are married, and men who are lovers, and women who give each other light, when people all over the world, strangers and lovers, families and friends, young and old, all colors and cultures, often will get down on their knees, and while so tenderly holding each other's hands, with tears in their eyes, will sincerely speak, saying, 'My dear, how can I be more loving to you? How can I be more kind?'" How can we do that?